Right, we're back with episode 56 of the HYPEWORKS podcast. It's our first one of the new year, and we're just going to pick up where we left off from the summit. But first, we're going to look at this automation.
Yeah, so we're in the green room, just us two, before we get on the call. And I'm showing Alex that I've built this flow. And I think it's one of the best flows I've ever built because it's completely linear. It's only one direction, really. But within this one direction, shout out to One Direction, there's a lot of complexity that's really streamlined. So I'm going to show you. So you start here, you could get a LinkedIn post. This is actually the client's LinkedIn post. Now you can add as many LinkedIn posts into the machine as possible. And then you can select keywords. Now, if you want to monitor a keyword, so the whole point of this is to respond to keywords, you come over here and you just add the keyword. So if my keyword was cheesecake, I could add HYPEWORKS. And every time someone comments them, I can create a rule of how to reply and respond to the people. So you can say, check my DM. And once you've got those keywords, you can then assign them to the post. So I can go, okay, I'm going to assign all of these keywords to this LinkedIn post. And every time someone comments a particular keyword on a LinkedIn post, so you could even have generic ones like thank you and stuff like that. You just assign it and then it will track that keyword. And once it tracks the keyword, and it will then respond. So it will respond to that keyword here. You can see it will tell you what rule has been triggered, and then it will send you a DM. It will say, hey, so when somebody writes, comment this, and you'll get my template or whatever, you can then follow up. Or if somebody comments, wow, Alex, thank you, you can respond, oh, great. And then it sends them a DM. Hey, thanks for the support. And it tells you whether it sent them a DM. If you can't DM them, it will send them a friend request. So I built that in 2 days. But why I think that that's a great flow isn't just because it's got a function. It's because the way that that is built is it forces user adoption, because the user is having to program in the URL and program in the keyword. I built comment moderation systems in the past, but they weren't heavily adopted, even if they were better. And that's probably because the AI was doing so much work that the people didn't really engage with what the AI was doing. But in this way, it's like they're programming the AI to respond to things that they want to respond to. It's not just programmed in a prompt, it's actually facilitated by the human, so it's more accurate as
So
well.
it's still technically human in the loop. You could call it like that, even though it's not.
Yeah, the human starts the loop, and that's the difference.
Yeah. I was just, we were talking last week about this Claude bot thing, and basically handing the keys of your computer over to an AI agent. And you see all these agents like running amok now, like talking amongst themselves and all this shit.
PR,
like,
though, isn't it?
You think it's bullshit, right?
I think it's a public relations stunt.
Yeah.
I don't think these AIs are even, I don't even think that might be real. I have no idea. I have to say, though, I'm not using it. I think if I used it right now, great. But the reality is that this technology will be usable in 1 year. I mean, I remember when Bolt first came out, Bolt.new, the application builder. It's like lovable, but it was first, really. It was first onto the scene. And it was clunky, but amazing. It blew my mind, but I used it like 3 times and I stopped because it was just difficult, and it wasn't precisely doing what I wanted. Fast forward, a year and a half now, is it? It's mind-blowing. Lovable is mind-blowing.
The other thing as well is like how these platforms react to bots and agents. Like, because imagine you just so your service, you've got human in the loop there, right? LinkedIn. If you just like give your computer over to a bot, an agent, and it starts posting on your behalf, you're going to get banned from Reddit. You're going to get banned from LinkedIn. And once you're banned from these services, you can't come back. So it's a huge risk, right? Just sort of handing it
The,
off.
the data risk is also what concerns me the most. It's not the like execution risk, but the thought that some company that we hardly know,
Yeah,
some guy that we
some
don't
random
know,
guy. Yeah,
you know, has access to all the data. I mean,
yeah,
companies are going to be buying that. State departments are going to be
yeah.
approaching him.
We last time we posted a video on the channel was the end of the year. It was our summit in Bangkok. It was a while ago now, a few weeks ago. Any kind of like new thoughts or like events this year? Like, what's the feeling?
I mean, I've got to ask you this question back. We didn't even introduce that this is the HYPEWORKS behind the curtain episode at the beginning. We just
I
jumped
don't know.
into a demo. But the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of change this year. The winds of change are blowing upon us. I think we learned a lot at the HYPEWORKS event. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about venue management. We learned a
I
lot
I think I think the
about
thing that really
audience.
caught me off guard was how broken the ticketing and payments were. Like having like Eventbrite, what was the other one?
Meet up.
Yeah, Meetup. Having all these platforms working together was actually really disaster. They don't talk to each other. The data,
Yeah.
you've got to manually grab it. Um, we got banned from Meetup for some random reason. The platforms themselves look like they come from the year 2004. Like the event software tech stack is broken.
Hype
Like it's
system,
shit,
bro.
shit. Like
We're gonna change the world with our new software that we're doing
and
tomorrow.
Luma looks cool, but actually doesn't do anything. It's just like a landing
It's a
page
trend. It's
essentially.
the team lab
Yeah,
of event
yeah.
websites. Yeah,
And
there's
there's
a
not
lot though.
when you go on these platforms, like the events there are junk. Like the other events are junk, most of them. It's not
Yeah,
quality
but
events. They're not curating events. It's just like random ass stuff, you know.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's happened. Within the last
Yeah.
month, I really think that this last month is a month that more change has happened
But
than
surely people like we're talking about AI there. Like surely people are gonna crave real world interactions. I saw a clip of the Airbnb guy, and he's like, all the money's gonna go to real world, like offline interaction. Like surely there's gonna be a lot of opportunity there because like the stuff that's out there right now is just garbage.
look at High
You know?
Rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Printing.
But the thing is with the High Rocks is it's a whole ecosystem behind High Rocks because your gym buys the license for it and then your gym prints money to High Rocks. Or even if it doesn't, because some gyms might create something called Hype Rocks, which sounds like
Yeah.
High Rocks. So you know that it's a High Rocks training session, but it's not a licensed training session for High
Mm.
Rocks. But still that gym is able to generate revenue, which is a sort of word of mouth marketing for High Rocks itself. I think that fitness is definitely a trend. I mean, it's been trending up. Run clubs are the next hot thing. Have you
I
seen
thought run
this?
clubs were kind of done though. They're not being kind of done to death.
Nah, they're coming hard. I'll tell you the next one as well that's going to be a big trend. Sauna. Sauna's the
Okay.
next big trend. But it's not going to be like ordinary. It's going to be like sauna experiences, like sauna in the woods, miles away from everywhere. You book a cabin in the woods with a sauna. It's
Airbnb
going to
for
be like
saunas.
basically, yeah.
Someone's going to take the idea and run with it.
No, I've seen it. Someone approached me. I had a conversation with someone about it, like a prospect, and that's what they did. And they were followed by like quite a few famous people in America, but the page only had like 15,000 followers. So I was like, oh, this is going to be the big trend. This will be on Joe Rogan in a few weeks.
So where's the money in events then? It's not. Is it in the software? Is it in the ticket? Is it in the experience? Like High Rock selling the tickets are crazy expensive. The
I
gear,
mean,
like the shoes.
the future path is this like, you work in software and I work in software, two different types of software, really, though, I'm migrating some of my thinking towards SaaS, but here's the reality. If you're SaaS, if people are going to create a SaaS, it has to fit into the world. But the truth of the matter is that if you've got a business in the real world, then you're going need to integrate it with different technologies. I think that these days the businesses that will survive are businesses that do that first, that it automate as much as possible and integrate software to run the stack. So, for example, we were just talking there about fitness. Well, I'll give you a few names. A lot of fitness businesses are listed on a software called ClassPass, which is really just an event booking platform. It's like Meetup or Eventbrite. Then they use a
Middleman,
CRM.
basically, right?
Yeah, but there's a CRM system behind that that's specialized for for fitness companies called Moments. Okay, but Moments also integrates with other platforms like Mailchimp. But Moments is its own CRM. It's a bit like HubSpot for the fitness industry. And ClassPass has a direct integration with Moments. So you can see it's like Moments has a direct integration with ClassPass. You integrate Moments in with Facebook ads, which it also has a native integration for. You then dupe that information. Let's say that you run a Facebook ad and it goes to WhatsApp and you have a communication. You could then also respond to that person with Respond.io. But now you've got an issue because you've got data in Respond.io that's not synchronized back to Moments. But you can do that with Make.com, and you can do that with other like N8N. And the companies that start to just integrate all of the system to remove the manual operations where there are gaps, doesn't matter whether it's in fitness, doesn't matter whether it's events, they're going to win for sure, because these companies will just accelerate and their margins will be very high and their operation costs will be way lower than employing people. So I don't think that the future is necessarily like, if you go to software, you'll get rich. I think it's like, if you do software, there's one path, but the other path is, if you have an offline business, automate everything.
Yeah. So it's like right now we're obviously really early. We're still early. February.
We're still early, yeah.
Still early.
Still early.
So there will be another HYPEWORKS Summit, but we don't know when.
Definitely.
Someone actually asked me this week, when's the next one? And I didn't really know.
I've had a few people on LinkedIn ask me, so we're going to have to get it together. I did actually have Kevin from Soho House reach out to me today. In fact, someone else was inviting me to speak at a conference at Soho House, but it could be there. Word
so
on the grapevine.
Next question is where, and you're in Da Nang now in Vietnam since the turn of the year. I noticed there's been a lot of content on X recently about Da Nang. There was a guy writing that he was disappointed in the accommodation in Da Nang and the general kind of vibe. Here's your chance to kind of put that right.
I've got a few people to call out, Rob. So Da Nang is a bit of a strange place. Full disclosure, I don't live in anywhere near downtown Da Nang. I live in a very quiet residential. It's not even really finished. It's actually next to like where they're building a lot of big houses. So there's nothing here. There's some golf courses, there's an equestrian center, and there's some beach resorts, but there's nothing else around this neighborhood. There's not that. For breakfast, I have the choice of bami or nothing else. It's just bami. There's no other choice. That's it.
So the label right now with Da Nang is like, it's the next digital nomad hotspot. The next, like it's up and coming. Is that fair?
I think it is, but here's why I think that is the case. Because 1 month in Da Nang is half the price of Bangkok. And if I'm honest about Bangkok and how I feel since leaving Bangkok, it's full of just arseholes. It is full of arseholes. And it stinks of shit. And you can't breathe the air. And there's a lot of sex tourism. there's no sex tourism in Da Nang. If there is sex tourism in Da Nang, it's for the Asians, it's for the Koreans, it's for the Japanese, and they keep it very much behind closed doors, you know. So it's not overt and like in your face. Whereas in Bangkok, it is overt and it's
Yeah.
absolutely everywhere.
But you, to be fair, you did show me a video the other day, and I said it looks like China, and Vietnam does have a like a Chinese style communist government. So obviously the whole environment is different from that perspective, like
It
in
is.
terms of
It is.
the
You know, I
laws
think,
and the stuff like that.
yeah, everybody that knows me knows that I've been coming to Vietnam for quite a lot in the last few years. Like, I do really like Vietnam, but I really like Saigon. But I came to Da Nang because I really wanted a fresh perspective, and I'd also got word that it was the next digital nomad hotspot, and I had to check it out. It's good because it's incredibly cheap, and
Yeah,
your money goes further. So it's not like Bangkok. If you can live on a 60 to 80 baht pad krapao in Bangkok, but it's rice with MSG
I had
sauce.
a coffee today in a paper plane in Tonglo for 130 baht, which
Yeah,
is probably the same price of a meal.
I
Yeah,
could get three or four coffees for that.
yeah,
Like on standard. I had a coffee today that was a bit more expensive, but it was special. It was
yeah.
really special coffee, but this average coffee, even in a half decent place, is you're probably going to get at least three coffees for that price.
I would argue with Bangkok, like if you've got a steady business, like if you're doing okay and you need something that's like stable, like an easy, convenient, and you're willing to pay for that, then it's still good. You know, you've got that visa, you've got the, you know, things just kind of work quite well, fast internet. You know, it's generally good for the well-to-do nomad.
If you're clearing 5K a month, Bangkok is definitely a great place to live. But if you're below 5K a month, Da Nang is definitely a better
Yeah, it's
consideration
a
to
good
at
way to put
least
it.
get stable footing,
Yeah,
because it's not even like, the nomad experience. I've had quite a long nomad experience now. I've been doing the nomad experience for 4 years. So, the world has changed, and the Da Nang is a great place. Like, if you're starting, it takes the pressure off. I've met a lot of people here that are just starting out, and it takes the pressure off. I think the danger of that, though, is that you are outside of where it's happening. But
hmm,
in some ways, that can also play in your favor because you don't have that FOMO when you're looking at what everybody
yeah,
else is doing or something. It gives. I actually feel a lot more focused in Da Nang than I do Bangkok.
yeah. No, that's the fair point. And I just pulled
Yeah.
up nomads.com, and the top five nomad places: Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Da Nang, Buenos Aires, and Melbourne. So I think the top three are fairly well established.
I've heard amazing things about Buenos Aires recently. I also was in Chiang Mai in December, and I have to say, Chiang Mai is an absolute belter, really. I'd still probably, if I've lived in Asia a long time, so I'm probably not the best person to ask, but because I actually prefer, I would prefer Vietnamese food over Thai generally. I think it's healthier, I think it's cleaner. And like I say, you get two or three times as much for the same price.
Yeah,
So I think that Da Nang might, for serious nomads. I don't mean for people that like to go out drinking and partying and want to just like hump girls everywhere they go. But for serious nomads that have a mission and want to get the like focus, I would
yeah,
recommend Da Nang right now over Chiang Mai. That's
yeah,
what I'd say. I mean, do I want to be here forever? No, my intention is to go back to Bangkok, but I have intentionally taken. Yeah, I'm going to spend another month here, and I'm happy at the choice of doing that. Even though I have done it to go monk mode. I have gone monk mode intentionally. There's another thing, by the way. that I want to say that happened in December. I just want to say, talk about Vipassana, Alex, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I know it's not the spiritual hour. You know that Bill Gates apparently does it every year, though.
No idea.
Yeah, do you not know that? And you know the guy that wrote *Sapiens*, Yuri,
Oh
what's
yeah,
his?
yeah. Uhari or something, is it? Something like that.
Yeah, he apparently does 3 months of Vipassana every year. Vipassana, for everybody who's not familiar with it, is a type of Buddhist meditation where you go into a temple, and it's usually between 7 and 10 days for the introduction, and you can't talk to anybody. You meditate for 12 hours a day, every day. And that's another thing that I'll recommend, because I think it was life changing. And I think that people that
Yeah.
want to do their own business as well, like, would benefit greatly from that
There was a lot of
experience.
talk about on. Do you remember on January the 1st, just after New Year, there was a big wave of the great lock in content online. Everyone's like, I'm locking in, and then you see them on Instagram stories like flying here, a rave, beach, like they're just sort of. It's all talk, isn't it, for a lot of
I,
people?
I've got to say as well, like, that's another thing that I've definitely become more clued in on since moving to Da Nang. So now I'm in Da Nang, I've met a lot more people that are sort of fresh remote people, fresh, I'm going to do my own thing. Often, especially girls, don't really like Bangkok. And I can understand why, because it's
Yeah,
incredibly intense. It's an attack on the
yeah,
senses. They like Chiang Mai, and I can understand why, because it's quite peaceful. And I
yeah.
think that they like a lot of girls prefer Da Nang and Chiang Mai over
Hmm.
Bangkok. Like, again, quote me if I'm wrong, but I think that that is the case. And what I've noticed in Da Nang is there's a lot more fresh, like, Europeans, and they
Hmm.
fall into two groups. One group is like, I'm serious and I'm going to do it. And another group is, I'm lying to myself and I'm on a, I'm on a
Yeah, holiday
holiday. And I
basically.
think,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think digital nomading is about working on a beach 3 hours a day. I
Yeah.
have got to say this. It is not like, being a digital nomad is hard.
I think
That
Bali's got that.
caption
Got that.
this. Caption this.
Bali's got that now. That whole oh, I'm a nomad, but actually they're just lying by the pool and having fun.
Yeah, maybe, but I think that like, I want to talk about this on a deeper level. Basically, I think being a digital nomad is a psyop. It's usually the word that I put in at that place. I think it's like they encourage people to become digital nomads because they can lay them off. They can make them redundant,
Uh,
and then they can
from a
outsource that
company, yeah.
work. Yeah, they
I
can
mean, it's
outsource that
convenient.
work.
It's
Yeah.
convenient excuse, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're a digital nomad. You've gone to Buenos Aires or Chiang Mai, and you work for a big tech company. And you just find out that you've lost your job. I've met a few people out here that have just been made redundant. More than a few,
Hmm.
just in coffee shops, like, just been made redundant, and now they're suddenly a digital nomad. You know, and it's hard being a digital nomad. You spend a lot of time on your
Yeah,
own. People don't
yeah.
realize that.
People don't
Like,
realize that, yeah.
yeah, and some people come out here as groups, and within a year, half the group has gone. If you stay out
Yeah,
here 2 years, you're probably going to be on your own.
yeah.
So you
Yeah,
have to.
after the first year, it kind of reality hits. You're like, okay, I need to survive here. Like, I don't. It's not a case of the glamorous lifestyle that people think it is.
I know, and there's the other thing that I want to get on to Rob Hallam about. Um, these videos of, I'm quitting everything and I'm moving to Thailand with just the, the rucksack on my back, and I'm
Yeah.
going from 0 to 10K. Don't do that, everybody. Don't. I have found this from experience. The best ways to make money online are not to drop everything, move to Thailand, and sign up for some guru's school course. No. Extend what you already know and do. If you're already making or baking cakes, start an online shop. I don't know. If you're already selling shoes on the market,
Yeah.
make a Shopify and sell shoes. But don't follow a guru's course. I met a guy out here, a Canadian guy. Oh, I'm going to make a lead generation agency. Are you now? Well, tell me how. Oh, I'm following this guru. online who's teaching me how to make a lead generation
The
agency.
classic one is e-com drop shipping, right? I'm going to move there. I'm going to run an e-com shop that drop ships from China. You know,
Yeah,
I saw
and
some guy, Scottish guy in Cambodia, and he tried to do that, like from Cambodia, an Amazon drop shipping business. Failed.
yeah. So, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's harder than people think. I do think this is the other thing, though. This is what we were saying about the new format of I'm going to drop everything and move somewhere. And day one of dropping everything and moving somewhere. I'm in the airport. I'm crying. I'm going to miss my mum and dad. Day 100. Oh, I've made 10K. You know who I'm talking about. I think it's a little bit disingenuous if you've got like a support network and a sponsor to tell everybody that you're dropping everything, because you're encouraging other people to do that don't
Yeah.
have the support, that might not have the finances. And yeah, you may have to live on a margin that's stricter than you want it to be, but you're on the winning team. It's not the same as being on your own and risking your own capital, you know. So you know who you are.
Any final thoughts on like monk mode, monking before we move on?
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of thoughts on monking. As you know,
Go
I've
on.
been a monk recently. At this time, oh no, I wasn't. I was out of the temple this time 1 month ago. This time 2 months ago, I wasn't even in the temple. But I think that monk moding is I've got things about, I don't know whether I should say, is it, is this the Chris Williamson podcast or is it the HYPEWORKS podcast? I'm not sure, because I'm about to turn into Chris Williamson. I think that a lot of monk moding is really just about being real with yourself. And I've been on this digital nomad, and when I say I'm actually also referring to Alex here as well. It's not just me, because we've basically been on this journey almost exactly the same tenure, with various routes and different paths, but nevertheless, I think you can know what I mean. But I think that, in the beginning, you can have good times, but you also don't realize how quickly good times may come and go. And it makes you, I'm speaking to like new nomads out there, or people that have worked in an office and never had the experience, but the way that it can change you as a person when you realize that you really are out there on your own. And some people may have had that experience in another format. Some people get lucky at home and make a business and move out. They never have to go through that. But both you and I, Alex, we had to make pivots in the last like 2 years, and we went through.
I think there's a lot of people doing that right now, making pivots,
Well,
forced and unforced.
oh yeah, that's the thing. Like, the reality hits when you've got no choice. Didn't I say something the other day that you sort of quoted me on? Like, something about like you change when you're forced to change.
Yeah, I mean the classic one's the Mike Tyson, you get punched in the face,
I don't know what you mean. That's
like
seems
his famous thing. He says,
everyone's got a plan.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Nah, I'm
See if we
talking
find
more
it out.
like, I'm talking more in the context of, yeah, you, for example, you come out here, you used to work for a company doing sales in France, and you move out to Thailand, and life's good. You've got a bit of money saved up, you fret, you go around, and then you lose that job, or they give you a redundancy payout, and you continue. You think, oh great, I get to surf a bit more, and I'll figure it out, and I'll get through, and I believe in myself. But when reality hits,
Yeah.
and you realize, like, the whole quote at the minute, no one's coming to save you. It's like, wow, the way that it makes you change as a person.
Like imagine your credit card didn't work or something and you couldn't pay for anything, things like that, you'd be panicking.
100%. But I think that will happen to a lot of people
Yeah.
that set off on their nomad journey without either extending what they do from back home,
Yeah.
or they copy one of these. I'm going to make a 10K. This is my journey from 0 to 10K in my own
Mm.
business. I think there's a lot of people, and
That kind of leads.
go on.
Sorry, go on. Go
I
on.
was
Go
going to
on.
say
Go on.
that might have been more possible 4 or 5 years ago, but it's
Yeah.
it's 2026.
That leads us on to the next thing. Yeah, like we're saying, like right now, there's loads of people getting laid off. You can see it on LinkedIn. Like established mid-career people are getting laid off, replaced by AI. It's there. Everyone sees it, and that's going to accelerate. So, what should people be working on as we move into this year? Like, where should you spend your time, in your opinion?
Upskilling, vibe coding, automation, uh, database schemas. Um, that's it. I don't
That's
know.
it. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. Vibe coding, automation, and databases. If you've got those three core skills, you will be okay. But if you can do all of them, you're going to be okay. If you can do one of them, it's going to be competitive and you're going to have to super excel in that. If you can do two of them, then
Yeah.
you're probably also going to be okay. But AI is coming for people that don't know how to do any of those, because it's like I said at the HYPEWORKS Summit, that if you missed it, it's not that AI is going to replace people, or even that a person with AI is going to replace people. It's that an automated process that's been built by a human, that's what's going to replace people. So it's the AI embedded in an
Hmm.
automated process that a human has been built. That's almost full circle. It's like that thing
Yeah.
that we showed at the start of the podcast. But what about you? What do you think? What do you think people should
No,
learn?
I'm like I've told you before. Like I think a lot of the future economy that we're seeing now is selling shovels. It's not. It's before you had to be a craftsman. You had to make products. You had to fill a hole in a company. You had to perform a function. But I think a lot of what we're seeing is just like how can you help others on the way. So like all of this. Betting economy with Polymarket, with all the vibe coding tools, with a lot of these agents now, it's the people that are making the real money in the moves are selling the information, selling the tools, selling the access. And maybe that's kind of wrong because you can't have an economy that's like a bag of smoke, right, without an end product. But all the signs I'm seeing right now is it's just a California gold rush. Here's the shovel. You go and do the mining. I'll sit back and get the money.
Are you going to talk about your new product?
No, I don't need to talk about new product because I feel like it's almost like a secret right now that people don't seem to be like
I,
interpreting.
I
Like
think
apart from those,
core selling was like the first iteration of that.
school was definitely like early people in school would have made money. I think now it's a little bit harder. But I think there's still a lot of opportunities to sell. Imagine you're selling, like for example, AI automation, right? If you're selling that to companies and people, like they have no idea like how it works, right? Like
You
if you
know,
could sell them that
I'm actually
information,
designing
then
a course right now that targets
yeah,
people in offices. And I don't
exactly.
mean target in like a negative way, because in a way, like if you learn it in an office, you get to keep your job. But I am designing a course to sell to people in offices, because that's my background. So I
Yeah,
know. I
yeah.
know. I don't know the small medium business. I don't know it. I'm not in that world, but I do
Hmm.
know about corporate office spaces. So um, it's actually based upon the presentation that I gave at the HYPEWORKS Summit, the core structure.
Yeah,
It's about why you need this, how to convince your boss, the different layers of it, and here's how to actually build it in practical terms.
yeah.
So
And
part one's
imagine it's like ecom back in the day. Like the people that are still around making money are the Shopify's, the Klavios, those guys that sold the tools. The actual shop owners they've gone under, or they're
not
not
all
they're
of
not
them.
around.
I
Yeah,
mean,
and
there's always
Amazon
going to be
sellers, like
winners.
good luck competing against China on Amazon if you're a seller.
100%,
So
yeah.
I think that's it. I think that's it. It's upskilling, and it's learning to sell yourself, sell access, sell tools. You know, because ultimately, like I watched that Thinking Game documentary, the DeepMind guy on the flight recently, and you can never outsmart AI like a model. Like as a human being, you're not going to do that. Like forget it. You know,
I
it's
know.
done.
I,
It's
I
already
was
done.
I was saying this to, I think it was actually Todd I was talking to. Not that anyone knows Todd, but you do. Um, just imagine what the IQ of ChatGPT is. Like people complain that it's bad, but you can give it almost any kind of verbal task, and it
Yeah,
will perform it. It will figure out the answer within seconds, not like tens of seconds, like less than
yeah,
10 seconds in the
yeah,
right mode. Like its IQ is 150 plus. I don't think
yeah,
people realize that. And it might not be smart because it might not have all the context. But given the context, like we're feeding it and we're teaching it
yeah.
context. I mean, this is segue onto OpenClaw. OpenClaw went crazy last week, blew up the internet. I think we were just talking about, you were just talking about it there in the terms of um, the context, but with regards to the AI social media, which I think is just public relations nonsense. But at the same time, think of all the data that we're going to feed it. This is why these state apparatus and OpenAI are pumping money into OpenClaw and building it into $1 billion company, because the level of information they'll be able to suck out
Yeah,
of it and train the machine.
yeah, yeah. Where do you think we'll
We,
be? Like, we're at the start of the year. Where do you think we'll be at the end of the year?
well, hopefully we'll all be alive.
I'm
And
asking you what we normally ask guests. Prediction. It's prediction time for this year.
can I talk about my own context? Or
Talk about your own context.
I think for me, I feel like everything for me is just falling more and more into place. And I think it's also because the market is actually catching up to the things that I've been
Mm-hmm.
saying for like the last 2 years. I'm not saying that I'm smarter than people. I'm just saying that my context was enterprise, and the SME space with regards to like open source and
Yeah,
AI technology, I think, is ahead of corporate enterprise. And I've
yep,
realized why. Because people in corporate enterprise take 3 4 hour long meetings 2 or 3 times a
yep,
day,
yep.
and they don't move very quickly.
Nope. And
Whereas
you've got a lot of controls in place to stop
I
stuff
know,
like that happening.
and
Yep.
this is what really the 0 to 10,000 people should be saying. It's like if you've got so much time in your hands and you don't have someone eating you up with 3 hours of conversation, this is where you need to be learning those skill sets that people in
Yeah.
the corporate office don't. Because someone came to me the other day and was like, blah, 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 well, the AI is not going to be able to make PPTs. It is. It
Gamma,
already
right?
can. you know,
Gamma's sick.
yeah, Gamma's good, and I've seen a few people using it, but it's like I can spot a Gamma like I can spot a text from ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
But given the right context and the right orchestration and the layering of the information and the control for the user, if I could probably build a better version of Gamma using the
Mm-hmm.
Gamma API, to be honest.
Right. So what is the main thing you're working on this year? Like, what is
I'm
the
saying that
goal this year?
anything can be automated. For
Anything can
me
be automated.
now, because I've got the experience, I'm kind of I've got a massive ecosystem that I've built over the last 2 years. So now I'm connecting all the dots in my ecosystem. I've got a SaaS. I've relaunched my template store. I've got courses coming soon. I'm moving away from agency based, service based business work of how we used to operate into more like consulting. And I think that that's where I want to go into. So that's me. That's my future predictions is by the end of the year, I have finished and completed my whole ecosystem that's nearly 100% automated behind the scenes, and it will move well, it will move like a rocket.
Yeah.
And that's
I,
what
I
I
think I
think.
think a huge, from what I've seen, like a huge opportunity we touched on it is like if you could offer your average white collar employee upskilling and a certification that kind of gives them confidence that they can actually use AI in the workplace. I think that would be massive,
I
because I
think
don't think
that like
anyone's doing that right now, really.
Udemy, Make, maybe NAN probably have their own courses.
Yeah, but I don't think they're pushing it hard. It's not
I
really a
think
big
they
thing for
are,
them.
but I think that again, I don't think the corporates have clocked on.
Hmm.
So I think it's more of a case of, I heard the other day that a corporate enterprise was starting to test NAN, and I said to the
Yeah.
person who works in that corporation, that's the problem. You can't just test. You
Hmm.
have to have experience of
Yeah.
building it in the real working
Deploying, yeah.
environment.
Only way
Otherwise,
you get feedback is deployment.
yeah, and the only way you understand of how to get people to adopt it is through
Yeah.
like my first comment moderation machines in so many ways are technically better than that version that we talked about at the start of the episode. But the one I showed at the start of the episode is getting adopted because
Yeah.
the human starts
Yeah.
the loop, even if it's not as technologically as advanced. Anyway, I think that automation, I know I'm the automation guy, but automation is the future. I'm going to continue to automate everything. My little automated empire is coming together. My future predictions are looking kind of good. My advice to people is upskill ASAP, buy the course, and keep going. But don't just move out of your job. If you get made redundant, extend what you already do. So, in my opinion, if you are already working in marketing, learn about how to apply vibe coding, databases, and automation to a marketing role. And if you're
Yeah.
in finance, databases, automation, and vibe coding, take those skills. So, that's my giveaway. Now, you, Alex, your future predictions.
Oh, mine, you just touched on vibe coding. Like I did it all last year, addicted to it like everyone, crack cocaine, burning through tokens like no tomorrow, staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I had a discussion with a friend there at the weekend. He stayed up till 2 o'clock. Like everyone's doing this. And I built 8 apps last year. Like all of them failed, apart from two. Um, and that basically taught me there's one big problem. You can build something, deploy it, but you can't get users. So that's what I'm working on this year. The app that is doing well launch is a discovery platform. Um, and I think that's going to be the big issue for all these vibe coders. Like, how the hell can you get users? You know? And I search on Reddit every day, same question. Built this thing, spent all this money, 0 users or 10 users. Um, so the thing with that is like it's not there isn't a clear answer. Like if everyone becomes self-employed and does their own app or SaaS, it's not clear it's going to work. It's not clear like you're going to have a sustainable business.
Is it not about
But
position, though?
it is about position, but there might be only, for example, if you build I have this friend in Hong Kong who runs an app called Bank Statement Converter, and you upload your PDF bank statements and it converts it into like Excel. So he's the market leader in that space, and there's like loads of copycats for his app, but there's only one bankstatementconverter.com. He kind of owns that space, so there might only be one or two winners for each category of app, like we see with mobile, right? You have like one or two apps per category. So I think that's the concern with the vibe coding thing. It may be a bubble because actually no one can really make money apart from the platforms themselves.
Is that you're
So
saying because of the democratized ability to build
yeah,
applications, now
yes.
there's less blue ocean?
So the parallel here I see is Spotify, right? Spotify's whole thing was like, oh, we can help artists make money and the music industry. And it is true, the music they announced the other day their payouts are now like record for the whole entire music industry. Like it's Spotify is the music industry. But the question is, are there more artists now? And are there more people making money doing music? Like, I'm not sure. So that's the question in my mind.
I mean, again, what you're saying is, even though there's more potentiality to have more applications, there's in some way going to be more centralization than ever.
Finite market, yeah. Centralization, finite market, um, normal economic supply, 80-20 rule. So 20% are going to keep all the money. But I do feel someone's got to try. People have got to try, Otherwise, you're just going to get people shouting into the void, which is a horrible feeling, as we all know.
I think as well, a lot of people these days don't try because they're paralyzed by either talking to ChatGPT or stuck in a TikTok real doom scroll. I have to say that's one thing that's really changed a lot this year for me. I'm talking to ChatGPT a lot less.
Hmm.
Like I don't take at the
People are
end of
canceling
like
their ChatGPT accounts. I see that as well.
really no
Because
why
canceling their subs.
because of addiction.
Don't know, just not using it. Maybe switching to other Gemini or whatever.
I'm not saying I don't know. I think that I saw this thing on the internet the other day. I saw this thing on the internet. That's a great way to start it. But it was like, more Gen Zs or whatever are depressed than ever because they've got AI girlfriends and AI
Mm.
companions, and it's like that is a problem. That is a problem. I think I said it to you. Like I was asking ChatGPT something last year, and you went, "Why?" You basically said to
Hmm.
me like, "Why are you
Yeah, what's the
asking
point?
Chat?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't really have an answer for that, and I still
No.
don't have an answer for it. But that's what I mean. Like, there's an over reliance to just verify everything with ChatGPT. I don't know whether I was doing that too much, but last year, especially you actually, that comment that you said, it did open my eyes a bit more to that being a habit.
I don't know. I saw a chart the other day saying I think ChatGPT usage has leveled off in the last 2 or 3 months. So maybe this is just another phase of the internet and like human evolution. Maybe it's not going to be the be all and end all. Maybe there's something else coming, or
It's
maybe not.
I think the thing is, people think that AI is about using a chat interface, but it isn't. Again, the
Yeah.
embedded process analogy, it's it's intelligence in some
Hmm.
regards. You get more out of it by applying it into an automated process and having
Yeah.
it work for you than asking it to make decisions on behalf of you. Mind
Yeah.
you, having said that, and I know that I'm probably about to let people in too much, but I saw this TikTok or Instagram or whatever the other day, and it was some Gen Alpha, young kid, 18, 19, and he started talking about, within their spheres, there's something called, I think, lux maxing. It's a big
Yeah. I
thing
heard of it.
where
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have like special ways and they have like special movements to apparently like mewing to
Hmm.
improve your jawline. Lux maxing was like a trend for them. And now the new trend is retard maxing. I hope I
Yeah.
don't get us cancelled. I hope I don't get us cancelled. And it's basically just making decisions quickly. That's really, and not thinking too much on it. Now, I think there's good and bad to be taken from that. Okay. One, I think that a lot of people have a lot of potentiality that is
Hmm.
stunted by overthinking.
Hmm.
Okay. But I also, when I thought about this a lot more, when I thought about that statement, um, there are times to use ChatGPT in that process of thinking less. I'm not saying outsource your thinking. I'm saying
Hmm.
make a decision and
Yeah.
use ChatGPT to execute quicker, which
Hmm.
is different from using ChatGPT, the thinking, and then using ChatGPT to send an output. So I think
Yeah.
there's an order of which you can use AI. But like I say, the strongest case for AI, in my opinion, is as the full-on assistant. That's I know that vibe coding you use an interface, but it's not talking to you; it's building for you. You know, it's working on behalf of you.
Yeah.
It's not influencing your brain.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Last year was like, yeah, building, programming, coding, and then this year will be actual actions and performing real work, like with coding. Yeah.
I mean, how much stuff do you use AI for currently? Do you have like a responder that uses AI or anything like, or note taker?
Nah, I don't bother that stuff anymore. I did have it, but I uninstalled it.
Yeah, same. I uninstalled it. I uninstalled the note taker as well.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, good catch up, and we've got some guests coming soon. So big year for the pod.
Some big stuff coming.
Let's do 1,000 subs this year. That's the goal.
We're close.
Yeah.
And when's the next HYPEWORKS Summit?
Let's do a poll on X and list like some of the potential places, and then we can share that around. See what people think.
Yeah, I mean we've discussed, but we'll have to get feedback from. We're going to co-create the event.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
HYPEWORKS is the bridge between what's happening at the cutting edge of technology, AI, marketing technology, and the corporate space. That's what this is. So if you're in an office or retired from an office, or you're trying to start something and you want practical, solid advice, then you're in the right place and come to the HYPEWORKS Summit.
Well said.
Yeah. Okay.
See you next week.
See ya.